divorce is a really big deal today. There's a lot of it going on. There's a lot of older folks who are getting divorced and remarried, so there's meaningful assets involved in a divorce. But whatever's going on, it's really important that planning gets done, redone after divorce. That's estate planning, asset protection planning, other types of planning. And so I sat down with a prominent family law attorney, Paul Nathan, to discuss divorce and getting your planning in order. So let's go take a look and talk with Paul. Hi everybody, this is Paul Hitchcock. Thanks for jumping on Wealth Protector TV, and really excited to have Paul Nathan here with us today. Paul has a family law practice representing only women here in the Bay Area. And Paul, you and I have talked a lot offline, and what I want to ask you about is when you're dealing with women, what is sort of the process that you go through in your practice? Because we're going to get to the planning side of it and how we came together with the estate and asset protection plan, but what's the process that you look at with women?
Well, we exclusively represent women, and it's in a wide variety of cases. So custody, support, divorce. And sometimes they can be individual. Some cases can encompass all of it. But one of the first things we ask is, do you have a will? Oftentimes, especially in divorce, if there is a will, it needs to be changed, because I'm assuming that most of my clients don't want to leave all their wealth to their ex-husbands.
Right. So when they come on board, do you have this intake process that you go through, and you're asking about their planning at that point?
Oh yes, we ask right away, and we're trying to make sure that they're covered, because they're coming to us at the beginning of this daunting process, and they don't know where to begin, and so we have to make sure that it's our duty of loyalty as lawyers. We have to cover our clients and make sure they're taken care of. So we ask them, do you have insurance? Who's going to handle your car insurance? Who's going to handle your taxes? Because oftentimes it's been somebody the husband knows,
right,
and they don't feel comfortable using that. But until we ask, they don't think about it.
Right.
And one of the very first things we ask is, do you have a will? Do you have an estate plan? Because all of that's going to have to be updated. Because God forbid something happens, it's all going to go follow the estate plan you had before.
Right. So when they come in, you're assessing the situation, and how long are you involved with these cases? I mean, are they with you for months? Going on. Is there a kind of an average time period?
Most cases, if it's a divorce case, it unfortunately goes on a year or two.
It can be that long.
It can be that long. Not due to us, but because we have somebody else on the other side who's not going to agree.
Right.
Especially when women come in and go, well, we want to have an amicable, my husband tells me we're going to do this amicably. Well, it's amicable until he doesn't get what he wants. And then everything
goes south.
Everything goes sideways.
Yeah.
With a custody case, it can be quick, in a couple of months. They can go longer, depending on the complexities of the case. But none of our cases are simple. We have, I'm the only 6'2" guy who represents only women in this area, so I have gotten the reputation, or I don't know, it depends who you ask, but of representing women against the narcissistic husbands.
Right.
I call them crazy husbands.
Right. People don't know you like I know you're a teddy bear on the inside, but you're a lion on the outside.
Yeah, but that's who our clients are. So we're dealing with a lot of litigation, and not created by us, but I'm not going to back down from helping our clients. And so part of that watching out for them and not backing down is to make sure that they're covered on all aspects.
Right. No, and I've gotten to know your process over the years, and it's awesome, because really when someone comes to see you and they're going through this, it's a horrible experience. It's not fun for anybody, but there's a lot of change. And I've seen your process where you'll ask them, okay, here's all the pieces that are going to need to change in your life, from estate planning, dividing the assets, maybe new financial planning going forward because there's new income flow that's changed. You mentioned insurance, life insurance, all that stuff. And so I've seen you go through that process, and it's great because it's holistic. And I don't see other firms doing that. And it really then aligns with what we do here. For those of you who've watched these shows before, you know that we're asset protection estate planning. So a lot of the women, they need a quarterback to lean on to make sure the planning is organized. And so it's a good 1-2 punch that you and I are working on.
Well, yeah, and it's nice because I know I can hand a client off to you and not worry about it. And I've dealt with my fair share of estate planning attorneys, asset protection lawyers who don't really know what's going on. And I have a personal experience here because my own family, we have asset protection, we have estate planning, we have LLCs, we have limited partnerships. And so I can kind of see if things are being done the way they ought to be done. When I spoke to Harry Barth, I was able to see, okay, you guys are doing it the right way. But it has to be done.
Right.
And so if we don't ask these questions, because there's so much upheaval, I mean, whether or not you hate your husband, it's still emotionally taxing. It's very difficult because you're ending your marriage. It's never easy. So you don't. That's not at the forefront of their mind.
Right. Yeah.
They're thinking, oh, I have to change my will.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
they're so distraught.
I've got to protect my credit score.
Right.
I have to get my own CPA. I have to get my own mutual fund advisor, financial advisor,
right.
whatever it may be.
Right.
But now you've got to do all these things. Especially with our clients, the husbands have usually been monopolizing this, whether or not they know what they're talking about.
Right.
They've been so controlling over the finances. But now our clients are being thrown into this, and we have to make sure they're covered.
Right, because if it's not covered properly, there's unintended consequences down the road, and people get hurt. So, always great information, Paul. Really appreciate it, and thanks for jumping on. We'll see you next time.